Hello, this is a neck tutorial. We'll do some floor postures to show you, and then you can try. And then I will also do some standing postures to try to clear up some ambiguity about what the heck you're supposed to be doing with your neck. The reason I wanted to do this is I went to bed last night thinking about it, and that it's somewhat unclear unless you see it. Then you can apply it to your practice, and I hope that will help you get more out of your practice. Okay, so let's start from a tabletop position. And I want you to watch this. And you're welcome to also pause the video because it's on demand. And then try some of this stuff yourself. Then absolutely take a class as soon as you can right after watching this so that you can apply it, feel it in your body, and get some more out of it. So here we go. From a tabletop position, neutral spine. I see two things happen a lot of time in regard to the neck and the spine. One thing is that we're not setting ourselves up in the shoulders. So as I'm here, I'm letting myself slump into my shoulder blades. So you can see that how my spine is literally falling away from the top surface of my shoulder blades. So I want to press all of my weight into my hands, all over my hand surface, fingers, pads of the fingers and palms, and create that press, what we call a protraction of the shoulder blades versus the collapsing. Because when I do that, owie, it starts to put too much strain in the muscles on the backside of my upper spine and shoulders. So rather we want to press, create a nice strong foundation. The second part is neck positioning and neutral neck position. That I see this a lot of times, that either the head is jutting forward and I'm pinching into the back of my neck, or I'm letting the head drop too much and putting too much strain in the muscles again through the back of my neck. So finding a neutral spine position, one of the verbal cues I often give is to lengthen forward through the crown of the head. So it's almost like someone's taking my top knot and pulling me forward to find that neutral spine position. So now let's apply this to cat and cow. What I see happen a lot of time in cat and cow is we think, I'm gonna move my neck, and it's creating the spinal movement. But I want you to instead consider that you're moving from your rib cage and the neck is just following that. So on an inhale breath, we'll start to drop the front ribs and create a little squeeze through the upper spine. And as I exhale, I'm going to pull my ribs to my hips and let my head, my neck just gently follow the line of the rest of my spine. Inhale, lengthening front of the body and opening up good through the front of the spine, and then exhaling to lengthen the back of the spine. I'm going to pull my lower belly muscles in, my ribs towards my hips, and let my neck simply follow. Let's do it together. Inhaling and exhaling. Let the neck follow one more time. Inhale, move from the ribs. Remember to stay pressed out of the shoulders. Exhale to reverse that motion forward around, moving every part of the spine, lengthening backside. Excellent. Now taking into a neutral spine position where we're actually holding. Push the floor, spread the shoulder blades, and lengthen forward through the crown of the head. So we're trying to hold this position in something like bird dog, where we extend one leg back, holding that strength through the shoulder and through the neck, taking the opposite arm forward. So very normal that the weight wants to shift off to this hip, right? Or the weight wants to shift off to this arm. We want to keep ourselves pulled up and in the center while reaching the limbs apart. And that's a great principle. On the other side, that despite what the limbs are doing, we're trying to keep the spine in the center, supported through core strength, meaning the back of the body, front of the body, hips and pelvis, large muscle groups. Good. Really sat down. I'm not out of breath, are you? So now take the consideration of that same idea of keeping the spine in a neutral position in a plank. I often teach this, you'll find it in Yoga for Life class. I'll start people on the knees for the simple reason that I want them to build the strength in their shoulders to support their weight. Because what's the point in me getting someone on their toes if they're slumped down into their shoulders? I want to start from the knees, create that nice protraction of the shoulders, gently pull in the lower belly. Notice that I'm not arched in my back, letting my rear end stick up, but I'm keeping my pelvis, my hips, neutral position by slightly tucking, lengthening down through the tailbone and squeezing up through my belly and my thighs. Good. So then when I feel stable, and listen, next same thing, I'm not looking forward, I'm not dropping down, but I'm keeping the crown of my head forward. It helps to look at the fingers, the thumbs. And when I'm ready, when I've got this position secure in my upper body, then I can make it a little more challenging, essentially just by lengthening the lever of my body, making my legs longer by coming off the knees and rather being on the toes. So still looking forward, neck neutral, pressing out of the shoulders, lengthen tailbone, squeezing everything. My neck stays in a neutral position. I'm building all the strength through my body and training my nervous system to understand when I'm neutral and when I'm holding it where everything is balanced. Perfection, I don't like to use that word, but just awareness and finding what your neutral is and then learning how to be there and breathe there. Let's do some standing postures now. Next part is at a wall. So you'll need a little bit of wall space. I've got my small little chunk of wall, making sure that you can get access exactly all the way down to the floor where it meets the wall, okay? So this is finding a neutral spine from a standing position, which you're like, wait, what? The reason I think this is very important is because I watch people walk around with what they feel is their neutral position, but what has really become dropping the head forward. I wonder why. Because we're always looking at screens, always looking at phones in front of us, and that tends to pull the head forward with gravity and elongate too much back here, creating too much tension to support all the weight of the head. So the point being here is if we can start to stack the head above the neck in a neutral position, we create a natural sense of stability in the body where we are stacked against gravity, but we can also learn how to use our musculature to support that. Okay, so standing at the wall. First thing is to understand that everyone's got a different shape so that your back end might stick out more than someone else. So get as close to the wall as you can that your back end is there touching. Then the next step is to stand with a neutral spine, pulling gently the upper spine and shoulders to also touch the wall. Press the fingertips down towards the floor next to you. Squeeze the armpits to feel your shoulder blades just glide and hug in alongside the body. Then the final little cherry on top is getting the head in the neutral position. So gently pull your chin in towards your throat. This is what we call a neck tuck, and try to press the back of your head towards the wall. Let's do it on a breath. As you inhale, lengthen up through the crown of the head like we've talked about earlier. And as you exhale, tuck your chin towards your throat and try to press the back of your neck towards the wall. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale to tuck. One more time, inhale. Exhale, tuck. Okay, so stepping away from the wall and trying to hold that neutral position. Consider whether that feels completely foreign or like, okay. Then I can encourage you to try this. You can do this on the way in the morning to go brush your teeth. You stop at the wall and do, 5 or 10 breaths of neck tucks and see if that sets you up in the rest of your day. If you want to immediately take a class right after this, awesome, because a lot of this information is going in mentally, but to truly process it into your body, you've absolutely got to try it. So I hope this helps you to find a neutral position in your neck. Take this into your practice and have a beautiful rest of your day. Thanks for watching.